Good morning, good morning, good morning. And a few minutes late on, but just hoping that the Wi-Fi stays exactly where it's supposed to be. So, welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. And this week's Monday Motivation is all about going for your dreams, going for the things that you want. And I thought that this week would be a really good week to motivate you into going for the things that you want. So I'm going to share 5 very quick insights into going for your dreams. So just to explain, if you've never ever seen one of these before, my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm in a very different environment today because I will be having a day with a gorgeous business up in Staffordshire in the UK. I will be with their sales teams and management teams, and I'll also be doing a little something with their customer service teams. So today's background is a lot different to my usual background. Anyway, I just wanted to say that my name's Jenny Kovacs and Monday Motivations were designed with you in mind. So if you're watching this, I'd love you to do a couple of things for me. Get involved, and already I see that Alan's hopped on and says, "Morning Jenny, morning Alan." Alan is one of our regulars. He is the rough seas coach that takes you out of the rough seas into calm and smooth waters. He does that in a number of ways, but as you're on first, Alan, I wanted to give you a shout out and let everybody know who you are. So a couple of things you can do for me. If you've got any questions as they come up through this Monday Motivation, please type them in the box below so that I can answer them live. As I've just said, I'm going to be having quite a full-on day today after this and sorting my hair out and getting ready. I'll be on trains, planes and automobiles until sometime pretty much this evening. So expect some quietness from me, but I'll try and get you into my day as and when I can. So the other thing that I'd really love you to do is, like, Mondays get a really, really bad rap. Mondays are the things that most people don't look forward to. You know, I don't like Mondays, I hate Mondays and all that kind of stuff. So if you're watching this and you just get any little bit of juice from this, or know of other people that could do with a motivation to their morning, you know, their Monday, their week, or even, because it's kind of the beginning of October, their month, please share this with them. If you're in a group where you're allowed to share these sorts of things, please share it in the group. If not, share it on your timeline, because this isn't just about people being in business or people wanting to be visible. The Monday Motivations are designed to kickstart your Monday, your morning and your week. So, we've got, I can see you hopping on. I can see Lisa saying, "I'm back." Hello, the lovely Lisa Pascoe, and also Ivona. Morning Jenny, morning Alan, and morning to those joining. Such a friendly bunch you guys are. And these guys that are jumping on now are part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, who are an awesome bunch of people who are looking to not only raise their visibility, and some of them are like, they're going for it great guns, as the people here that are watching are. Raising your visibility is all about you being seen and being heard, so that you can either get the promotion you want, the clients that you want, and really, essentially, the life that you want to. So if you're not part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, just look at the top there, click on the button and ask to join. And as long as you've got a picture of who you are, and you know, you're not a member of like 2,000 groups and joined yesterday, then I feel pretty safe to let you in and to let you join. So you're all saying good morning to each other. So this episode is dedicated to the dreamers in life, because there's something that I hear a lot of people saying. I get why they say it, but to me it doesn't always ring true. And they talk about the difference between going for it and having a dream and a plan. And sometimes having a dream gets a bit of a bad rap. You know what I mean? People, does that make sense? If you've ever had a dream and somehow inadvertently been made to feel that, oh, because it's a dream, it's not a solid plan, because it's not a solid plan and it's a bit flaky. If you've ever had that experience, give me a thumbs up or a love heart across the screen so that I can see. Because that's not always the case. Usually something starts as what could be a dream. If you think about it, if you want to go on holiday, that will usually start off as something that feels like a dream. Oh, I'd like to go to, you know, Barbados, or I'd like to travel and go backpacking. I'd like to take a month out or a year out. And, you know, I've even had a client in terms of the visibility stuff who I remember saying to me, like, they wanted to grow their business. They had a couple of businesses, but one in particular they wanted to grow. And one of the things they really wanted to do was to spend December travelling. And I said, well, why not? Oh, well, when you own a business, you've got to focus and everything else on it. Yes, when you've got a business, you need to focus and do everything you can on it. But if you want to go travelling, surely that becomes part of your business plan. And lo and behold, not only were they able to take just the December off, they actually took 3 months off to travel and were able to create what they needed to create before they went, during the time they were away, and afterwards. And it also gave them some much needed reflection time. So here are 5 things that I've picked up along the way, I guess in no particular order, that have helped me turn things that have felt like dreams into like good, solid, hard plans. And if you're one of the Vibers and you think the other Vibers should know about this, please feel free to share this in the Vibes tribe. So, first thing is, when you have a dream of doing something, sometimes we get bogged down in the detail. We get bogged down in the why it can't happen. And that's a place to stay out of. And here's how I've stayed out of the, oh gosh, how hard this is going to be and how this is not going to happen. Because actually we inadvertently, and I've seen not only myself do it, I've seen clients do it, where we get so much into the what could go wrong, how difficult it's going to be, the struggle. And all of those thoughts, believe it or not, are a choice. So one of the best ways I know to get you straight into the place and the space to turn that dream into a reality so that you can go out there, do something about it in a way that feels really juicy and good to you, are the places and spaces that you frequent. So the first tip is look at the places and spaces. Now, in January, I was really fortunate enough to go to Costa Rica. And although I was there for a friend's wedding, had a bit of time out there just to chill out and relax. And I tell you what, it was one of the most beautiful countries I've been to. I've been to the Maldives and Barbados and some really beautiful places, like many places in Turkey and stuff like that. And it was so beautiful, so peaceful, had such a nice vibe to it. I knew that this was a place and a space that I could create possibility from. And if you're looking at turning something that feels like a dream into, like bringing it into reality, it could be the body you want, it could be the relationship you want, it could be the kind of income you want, it could be the business you want, it could be the life you want, it could be any of those things. If you're looking to bring something into life, like breathe life into your dream, look at the place and space that you create it from. Okay, so you might be saying to yourself, but Jenny, you know, in order to make this thing come about, I'm not about to hop on a plane and go to Costa Rica. You know, a lot of my corporate clients will say to me sometimes, well, it's okay for you, you're self-employed. You can take time off whenever you want. You can go off whenever you want. I have to go through this. So the second thing is to like, come from where you're at. So the first tip is the places and spaces that you bring about this magic from are really important. You know, if you are at home and maybe you've got a room in your home that needs decorating, every time you go in there, all you can think about is, gosh, it needs decorating, and it just really drags me down. Don't create from that place or that space. Look for somewhere else. So for those of you that say, well, it's all right for you, you know, being in Costa Rica, or it's okay for you, you're self-employed, so you can do what you want from where you want and when you want, try this. This is point 2, look at where you're at now and create from where you're at right now. So I remember in my corporate days, and I had a background in financial services, a very good background, senior management in financial services. And I remember one of the places where I was a manager was this Georgian mansion house. Very, very beautiful grounds and fields, even with llamas in the fields, can you believe that? And whilst inside was a typical office space, you know, where people had their cubicles, I was fortunate enough to have a nice kind of corner space in the office, which had lots of windows and lots of daylight. But when I looked out the windows, I could see more offices. However, they had these beautiful gardens with benches in that people didn't even really take advantage of when it came to lunchtime. And I remember thinking, you know, if I didn't have to be in this meeting or that meeting and I could have any choice I wanted to, I'd pick up my laptop and go and sit in the garden. So anytime I could, whether it was like a lunch break, that I hadn't taken, and thought, right, it's 3 o'clock, I'm going to just take a bit of a half an hour break, I would go to this beautiful place and space, very natural, trees and things like that. So I would go there, and that's where I would then create the thing that I wanted to create. So this is the same for you. You will have a room in your house that you adore. It could be your bed, it could be lying out on your bed, it could be your garden. And if it's not somewhere within your house that you feel is different or can get you into that great vibe of creating space, then think about somewhere local. It's amazing to me how many times I give a talk, and I say to people, if there's a hotel down the road that you absolutely adore, just go and sit in its public areas. Go to the bar area, go to the dining area, go and do some work from there for a couple of hours. Go and sit in there, go and have a coffee or a tea, or cold drink or a beer or a glass of wine. Go and just go to somewhere that you just like being in the space. And in fact, many years ago, I used to live near Surrey, and while I'm telling you this story, I want you to think about somewhere within your house or your home that you could just go. It might be the top of the stairs, the bottom of the stairs. And I also want you to start thinking about somewhere that's within walking distance to where you are. You don't have to travel or anything else like that, where you can just go to and be. So start thinking about that. So my space was, I used to live quite close to Gatwick Airport, and there was a really gorgeous hotel just a few miles up the road. I'm going to give it a shout out, the Nutfield Priory, because I'm going to be talking about that today to my customer service team as well. But the Nutfield Priory had these gorgeous rolling views. You could see for miles, and on a clear day you could see the skyline of Gatwick Airport, and you could even see towards the Downs, towards Brighton. Stunning views. But inside this old priory, it wasn't just how it looked, it was the way it makes you feel. When you used to set foot in the grounds of the priory, you would just feel like everything is possible. So I used to choose to go there. And I would sometimes rock up there, in time for like 10 o'clock and stay there for the whole day, have a few glasses of water, a few drinks, a few teas, fruit teas in my case, have some lunch there. And if I could really, I say stomach it in a really great way, have an afternoon tea. They do the most amazing afternoon teas. If you're anywhere near the Red Hill area, definitely worth checking out. So I used to go there, and that used to really give me that good boost, that good feeling. And that would be my place I would go to create and have a look and envision and dream. I could go inside, outside, and even on a cloudy or rainy day, it was still such a beautiful space to be in. So find your space. So just checking up on you. Have you thought of the place in your home and a place that you could literally walk to? Another place that I lived in Kent for a while, just across the road were these lovely woods. And I remember sometimes I'd even do my client coaching calls, and I'd walk through these woods, really quiet, very peaceful, but just a nurturing feeling. So have you got some places that you would that you've already brought to mind that you can think of? If you do, give me a thumbs up or a love heart. Let's see some love hearts. Give me a love heart if you've thought of a space like that. And if you're struggling with that, then do let me know. Type in the comment below, and I will, while I'm still on the call, I can hopefully be able to inspire you, get some inspiration. Okay, ask you some questions there. So that's the second point. So the first point was the places and spaces, but the second point was, like, you don't have to go to a far-flung destination. You can start from where you're at. So the third one is to get clarity on the dream. Get clarity on the why of the dream. So many times, and it's almost like I see this over and over and over again, whether it's a private client, whether it's a group of people in the room, they've got a dream, they've got a plan, they've got something they want to do and bring into fruition. And what they do is they look at all of the reasons why it's not going to be possible, why they can't do it, why it's going to be a struggle. Oh, well, I'm a parent, or they've got to put the kids and let the kids go do their stuff first, and in a few years, once they're either at school, once they have left school, once they've gone to university or something like that, people will say, well, the thing is, in the past I haven't been able to do this, haven't been able to make money or find a relationship or eat healthily, so I'm really nervous about that, I'm worried about that. So rather than spending time in that place, and rather than spending time in why it can't be done, or the obstacles or the barriers, or why you perceive it's going to be hard. You know, doing something new requires a change in mindset, regardless of whether we're spiritually attuned or whether we're into personal development or whether we're just simple, I'm just going to go and get it, you know. It requires a change within, and nothing will change within if every time you want to do something, your go-to places like how it's not going to happen. So get clarity instead of going into why it can't happen, or why it's going to be difficult, or why, you know, you've never done it before. Get clarity on the why. Get clarity on the why you want to do it. If it's to make a difference in people's lives, go for it. If it's to make a difference so that you feel more confident in living the life that you want, go for it. If it's to make a difference to the department that you work in so that you can give them messages in a clear and exciting way, go for it. If it's to get a better score on your appraisal, go for it. If it's to reach a bigger audience, go for it. If it's to let people know that they matter, go for it. If it's to spread your ripples far and wide, go for it. Spend more time in that energy, and already you'll start to feel the difference. So get clarity on your why instead of looking at the reasons why you can't. And Ivona says, yes, she's got a place in my home and outside. That's awesome. Ivona, if you can, next time you're at the place in your home or the place outside, if you want to share, you don't have to share the whole thing, you know, here's a picture of my bedroom or whatever. Share a little snippet of it, like give us a teaser of it where we can see a bit of it or not. Post it in the Visibility Vibes tribe. For the Monday motivation today, post in there and say, this is a slice, a thin slice of my special place or my special space or something like that. Okay, so that was number 3, get clarity on your why. Number 4, allow yourself. Now, this is the piece that, like, I mean, I've even got stuck in myself, and I've seen so many people got stuck in. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Any other brand of water is also available. So here's the thing. So many times we say we want to go for something, want to go for our dreams, and we get caught in the, I want to do it, and then like not allowing ourselves to do it. Like, give yourself full permission to go for whatever you want. Doesn't matter whether nobody in your family's done it before. Doesn't matter if nobody in your circle of influence has done it before. Doesn't matter if your friends have never done it before. Allow yourself to go for your dreams. Now, I'm going to share with you very candidly. I often talk to my vibers about being in a mastermind group, and a mastermind group has got so many kind of newer connotations to it. But the mastermind group in particular was based in America. There were 160 people in there, and do you know what? We all felt like absolute individuals within that group. Within that mastermind, you could come if you had a problem or a query. You could come to the mastermind, and there would always be people to answer the questions. No one would say, I've got the answers and you haven't. If you wanted to go to a next stage or next step in your life or your business, there'd always be somebody that could help or give advice on that. And we'd all bounce off each other, including the person that ran the mastermind, okay? They would blatantly peel the curtain back behind any challenges or any stretches or any things that they wanted to do, and everybody would come from a place of encouragement. And I remember that mastermind with such fond memories, and I've been saying to myself, I really, really want to get back in there. Now, I don't know whether you're sceptical about believing in signs or getting kind of like a little nod, but this was in 2013 and 2014, and I said to myself, from the beautiful space in January, I'd said, look, I really want to get back into that sphere, that mastermind, and around those people again, and in that place, because it was like, I knew that there's a lot of possibility for me, and I like to be in those supportive places and spaces with people who get it. So I decided that this is something that I really wanted to do, sort of back end of last year, I guess. And in January in Costa Rica, when I was mapping out how I wanted my life to look this year and beyond, that was one of the things I mentioned. Well, I held an event in July, and lo and behold, one of the women who lives in America, who had been in the same mastermind as me, she'd said, I'm coming to England, and I said, by all means, it'd be great to see you. I've got an event though that's on Saturday the 8th of July. So yeah, it'd be really great to meet or whatever. I just might not be able to do it at the event, but you're welcome to come if you want. And she said, okay, fine. Didn't think anything of it. Now, this lady flew over to America less than 24 hours, flew over from America to England less than 24 hours before my event started. And I got a message on the morning of my event saying, I'm definitely up for it. Is it still okay to come? Like, how many other groups of friends, circles of influence do you find? There are a few out there, don't get me wrong, but there's not as many as there could be. How many places or how many people do you know that would be on a transatlantic flight which lands at 4 p.m. on the Friday, and by the 9 o'clock on the next day would be sat in your room, not only to support you, but to really lap up what you were doing? I mean, that kind of connection is amazing. And I really want to encourage you to put yourself in an environment, allow yourself. This is not even about forcing yourself to do something. Give yourself full permission. Allow yourself to do the things that you want to do. This turns it from being a dream that feels like a distant thing that you'll get one day into something that starts to literally move around you in your psyche and come to fruition. Anyone have a dream like that? If you do, again, let me know. Give me a love heart. I like to see the red across the screen at this time of the morning. Okay, so finally, just before we end, the last piece. In fact, let me just do a quick recap. So the first one is put yourself in the places and spaces that allow you to really feel into your dream and to go from a place of possibility. Going on holiday in places like that, that's a really good place to start. But if not, step 2 is go from where you're at. Find a space and a place in your home or that's local to you that you can just walk to and get to. Go to a local hotel that you love. Go and sit in the bar area. Take your notebook, take your journal, take your computer, plan and look at what you can bring into the world. And number 3, get clarity on why you want to do it. Stay out of the how difficult it's going to be, how you've never done it before, and the struggle, which is a place that most of us will naturally gravitate to. But instead, get clarity on why it's so important to you, who you want to make a difference to, how you want your life to be different, why you're on purpose, why you're exactly the person to do it, why you want to make a change, spread those ripples far and wide. Number 4, allow yourself, give yourself full permission to do the things that you want to do in life. We already can be in environments where people will tell us how difficult things are and why we can't do something. So how about allowing yourself the opportunity to say, do you know what? I can absolutely do this, and I will. And number 5, be completely unapologetic. Be completely unapologetic. So many people go for their desires and their dreams, and they have all the excuses, the excuses as to why they're allowed to do it. It's a bit like me showing up on Facebook and saying, I'm going to do a Facebook Live every Monday at 7 a.m. UK time to really inspire people. But I know people might see me a bit too much on the screen and might think I've got a big ego because every Monday I'm here, and that doesn't feel so good. And if it doesn't feel good for you as a person, it's not going to feel good for the people around you. And if you are unapologetic, if you want to make a certain amount of money at work, so many people when they're in a job, they want to rise through the ranks, they want to get promotion, and they want to earn a certain amount of money. Yet on the flip side, when people go into self-employment, all of a sudden they start to become shy about how much income they can make. They'll cap themselves to, I just want to make a little bit, or I just want to replace what I had before. Now, I had this conversation recently with somebody quite close to me, and I said, and I was talking about how it'd be really great to make a certain type of income that you could go out and do various different things in the world. And they'd said, oh, well, I don't want to be a millionaire. I said, I do. And I'll tell you why. And I said this unapologetically. If I can, not if I can, when I get past the £1 million mark, there's one thing that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be on the Secret Millionaire. I would be able to have more effect in the world because there's things that like, money can't buy happiness, but it can certainly make you much more happier to do the things that you want in the world. You know, there are projects I could start, there are charities that I can contribute to in a bigger way than I do now. And don't get me wrong, although I'm not at that place now, I still act as if, so I still contribute something, because to me something is better than nothing. I don't do nothing and say one day this is what's going to happen. But be unapologetic. If you want to grow your business, be unapologetic. If you want to be more visible, and that means showing up on Facebook Lives more often to your audience, be unapologetic. If you want to be in newspapers or magazines, be unapologetic. If you want to change and transform your relationship with food, be unapologetic. If you want to go for and meet the person of your dreams, be unapologetic. Don't do this kind of half, well, I'd quite like to one day if it's okay. Go for it. Go for your dreams. And this is why it's important to be in the places, the spaces, know what you want, know your why, and you know, the people that you want to surround yourself with. So just before I sign off, if you've got any questions, do type them in the box below right now. But if not, I really want you to take some time today just to think about, what is that big hairy goal, that big hairy audacious goal. It's usually a goal that you might not want to say out loud. You know, recently I was talking to a friend of mine who had a dream to do something which came to fruition, and she was just like, you know, it was so wonderful, it was so brilliant, I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. So don't put yourself off, don't put yourself last, be completely unapologetic for the things that you want to do in your dreams. So Ivona says, all points very useful, yet 5's an area that I need to work on. And do you know what, Ivona? I imagine that you will not be the only person, myself included. There will be people that watch this back on the replay that will say exactly the same thing. It's almost like new level, new devil. There are things that I've accomplished and people will look from the outside in and go, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And sometimes there's blood, sweat and tears that go on behind it. Or you'll think, oh my gosh, I really want to do this thing. Like the first time I ever sold a program, or the first time I ever invited someone to coach with me. My very first coaching client paid me £30 for a 1 hour session and got like 3 hours for 30 quid, you know. And the thought of charging anything for that session absolutely scared the pants out of me. And then as I got more comfortable and as I raised my prices, as I let people have access to me in a different way, whether it's online programs, whether it's VIP days, then you can imagine having to charge for a VIP day. So for those of you that aren't in the coaching world, VIP day is where you do kind of like a one-on-one or one-to-one session with somebody. They get you, just you and them for the whole day. Now, in order to do that, it means blocking out your calendar. It means clearing your diary. So it meant that in order to do that, I had to charge a premium price. But it also meant that that person could work through whatever issue or problems that they had, and they would come out of that day and they would have their next step. They would have problem solved. It could be a mindset piece, and you know, I'm an NLP practitioner. I was able to help people with fears of presentations. One lady was doing a book launch. She'd written a book, a brilliant book. She had a big book launch planned in a massive venue, and she realised that she was physically scared to go out and speak. You know, another lady was working for a company, and she knew that she really shouldn't be there, but the thought of leaving felt really scary. She didn't feel that she had the skills to even go for another position with a very similar company or enough experience. We worked through the plan of that. You know, that there's some of it is the mindset stuff. I tend to call it the head, the heart and the hands. So the logical stuff, the passion inside here, and the what to do. We worked through that. Another lady who was very highly spiritual came along. Remember, we actually had our day at the Priory where I described at the beginning of this video, and it was just awesome to be able to get into a space where we both felt like anything was possible, anything could happen. And again, this lady has gone on to publish books. She's gone on to create videos that really help people in a very different way, but in her way. And this is the thing, you know, when I first kind of had to say the prices of it and stuff like that, that felt really scary to me. When I first had to let people know, you know, how to do something, the first place it started from was me allowing myself to be able to do that thing. It could be a change of diet. It could be taking up training, like physical training. It could be going into corporates. You know, there was a time that even though I came from a corporate background and kind of knew the game and how it was played, when I then had to position myself as a coach and a speaker and a trainer and say, look, you know, this is what I can come in and do for your teams. It felt scary, but I had to like allow myself, be completely unapologetic to go for it. And I advise you to do the same. You know, we're at the beginning of a new month. Like, wipe the slate clean. Imagine that everything you've written on in your mind, in terms of what you can do, your limitations, is like a blackboard. Get a nice wet cloth, wipe it clean, and start again. But do it from this space. I hope that was helpful to you. If you liked anything that I shared, please share this with your friends today so they can get going and get inspired. I look forward to seeing some of you in the Visibility Vibes Tribe. Remember to click at the top there. And remember that this Wednesday I've also got a webinar. It's not going to be a Facebook Live, it is a webinar. So again, check the events tab up here, click to say that you're going, but also remember to click on the link before the webinar starts at 8 PM UK time. If you do it afterwards, you're not going to get the details of how to join. All I need is your first name and email address, and I'll be talking about 5 really quick and easy boosts to your visibility. And the lovely Iverna who's on here, actually, after the last one on Friday, if you look at the 5-star rating, she gave me 5 stars and said that she got a lot from it. So apply what you've heard today in your life from this moment moving forward, and I promise you, you will start to experience opportunities that you never thought were possible. I hope you've been motivated. Thank you so much for joining me. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.